This is the Buckeye Roundtable Show presented by Burger King and brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast and Cova Insurance, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with former OSU All-American Jim Lachey and the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, here's your host, Skip Mosic.
And hi again, everybody. Welcome into another week of Buckeye Roundtable as we get you set for conference play with Michigan State on Saturday with former OSU All-American, NFL All-Pro Jim Lachey. Great to see you.
Great to see you on this Tuesday night.
Hall of Fame broadcaster, legendary voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
Bravo for getting us started, Skip. Bravo.
And they started on time. Our scheduled time tonight.
Our scheduled time.
Hall of Fame coach, former Ohio State head coach John Cooper. Always love talking football with Coach Coop. Thanks for being here.
Always good to be with you. Thank you.
Coach Ryan Day will join us later this hour. Ohio State defeats Marshall 49-14. It wasn't perfect by any means, but there was still plenty to like. Your biggest takeaways, will go around the horn and start with Coach Cooper.
I didn't like the way we opened the game. I thought we were going to put them away early like we did the week before. We didn't do that, but I'm going to tell you this. I thought Marshall was better. Marshall was better than I thought they were going to be. I thought we made some good halftime adjustments, and obviously no question about who was going to win the football game. And we, our wideouts and running backs, I get more impressive with them every time I watch them play.
Yeah, I think adjustments, Coach, was a key word with what Ohio State was able to do, especially after that first drive that Marshall put together. Remember, Marshall had a bye week the previous week also.
Absolutely.
But that running game, certainly impressive, not only just the running backs, but the offensive line.
Big plays, explosive plays. We had a 68-yarder to Mekabuka. Was nice. Quinshawn Junkins, 86-yarder. You don't see those every day around here, so that was pretty cool. To see him make out. And then, obviously, Travion Henderson getting some tough yards near the goal line and getting in the end zone.
We're hitting home runs, and they're hitting singles and doubles.
They still scored a couple of runs. Absolutely. We've been propping up that Ohio State defense, Paul, the last couple of weeks. The Hurgis basically said, we don't care. And they came in, and that was a very impressive opening drive.
Very was. And, they did some things really, and especially with the quarterback run, that they hadn't shown to that extent in the previous game against Virginia Tech. Now, also, let's keep in mind, too, that Tyleik Williams was not playing. After a while, you lose Caden Curry to a targeting call. But, that certainly is something that is going to get everybody's attention, the coaches filtering on down to the players. And, you knew they weren't going to go the whole year without giving up a touchdown.
It would have been interesting to see if that quarterback wouldn't have slipped on that 4th and 1.
Mm-hmm.
They were going for it, and he kind of fell down, and, we ended up getting the ball back on downs. And, of course, we were able to take it back down and get a touchdown after that on the quarterback sneak. But, it'd be interesting to see if he wouldn't have fell there, how they reacted and how the fans in the stadium would react.
We got a pretty good break when we fumbled a punt there, too.
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
We'll talk about that in detail coming up. But, Coach Cooper, how about just the way Ohio State responded to the way Marshall started the game?
We had much better athletes than they had. That didn't surprise me at all, to be honest with you. I thought it's just a matter of time. We may be behind at halftime again with those adjustments we made and those home run hitters we have. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've seen a college football team in a long time, guys, that's got better wide receivers or better running backs than we got right now.
We'll talk about special teams coming up next segment, but obviously you have to think that will be a talking point this week.
Well, and Coach Day alluded to it today that Jaden Fielding was dealing with some sort of ailment, that he had tweaked something, nothing long-term, but you saw the effect of 3 in a row. And the thing, and Jim and I, we talked about it, he had not shown that kind of problem in the previous year or plus.
No, he was kicking them 8 yards deep in the end zone, and, we thought, finally got a kicker that can do that. And all of a sudden, you have one, you're like, okay, no big deal. But then when it kept going on and on and on, it got in his head. He had a case of the yips.
It looked like my tee shot in golf.
I was going to say, Skip, it doesn't happen to you, Skip, but some of us know what it's like to yank a tee shot the wrong way.
That or a sleeve of balls out onto McCoy Road there on 15 at Scarlet. Absolutely. Fans, you can win a catered party for up to 20 people, including an appearance from a former Buckeye player at your home for an away game this season. It's the Giant Eagle Ultimate Buckeye Home Gate presented by Cheez-It, Pringles, and Coca-Cola. Register today at OhioStateBuckeyes.com/homegate for your chance to win. Saturday, Ohio State is at Michigan State. We'll be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 5:30 p.m. Up next, our 60-second timeout as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More for a Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King. Coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready?
It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
For 100 years, our passion at Atlas Butler has been helping people. From those who have relied on us for years to those who call us for the first time. For our team, their families, and our community, Atlas Butler is here to keep Central Ohio safe and comfortable with trusted, convenient service. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes. Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you. Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations, in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Join partners American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/BuckeyesCare.
Buckeye Roundtable, 60-second timeout.
Lots to squeeze in tonight in this 60-second timeout. Ohio State's running game. Let's start there. Judkins and Henderson both average more than 12 yards per carry. Judkins, the big numbers with the 86-yarder. But what are you seeing the most from the Ohio State running game, I guess, that you like the most?
The fact that they're breaking tackles. The one touchdown that Travion Henderson ran, he shucked off a couple of people to really be able to take it when it looked like maybe it was going to be a sizable gain, but not going all the way to the house. So that's the thing that seems to be most impressive in this corner.
Yeah, what I think I'm seeing is the offensive line's getting to the second level. They're blocking the linebackers. They're taking the defensive line. They're moving the line of scrimmage. And, you know, when you do that, you give it back the quality that we got right now with Travion, Quinshawn, and throw James Peoples in there. they got the ability. If they can get that linebacker level, they can make it the guys in the secondary miss, and we've seen that. But just such an unbelievable stat, averaging 12 yards per carry between those two. Why do anything else, right? Just run the football if that's the case. But I just think that the scheme's good. The toss crack has been working real good, getting a tackle out there. So, whatever they're dialing up works out. And they even got the old T formation out for the quarterback sneak and got in the end zone. So, Chip has got a lot of different toys to play with, and I think he's, lining them up and use them in the right way.
Coach Cooper, what are you liking about that running game?
I like everything about those backs, those two running backs you're talking about. They also can hit a home run. You get them in the open field, they're gone. Junkins is a lot faster than I thought he would be. I mean, the guy only rushed, 1,500 yards down at Ole Miss, led the SEC in rushing a couple of years ago. But those guys are that's as good as two running backs I think on a football team in a long time.
Jim, age-old question: when teams run to the tight side boundary, why? Seriously, there has to be. They're calling the plays. Why do we see that so
Sometimes
often?
it's a number count. They feel like they can get some numbers there and can get to the sideline and turn it up. But by the time you get out to the numbers, there's not much room to work anymore, especially with the wide hashes in college football. But you've seen success, and again, if they're overloading towards the field, things like that, it might be a number count where you can get it, but. We just doesn't seem to have, at least in this past game, success running into the boundary. I think it was Travion Anderson, or was that Quinshon Jones? I can't remember. Yeah, but both just couldn't quite turn the corner there when you like to do that. And again, it's something that you look at. It looks good on tape. It looks good in practice. But then when you go out there and run it against the defense, a different defense than what you're scouting or going against, the results weren't good.
Coach Cooper, you remember people used to complain to you. Always coaches run to that boundary. Why?
Used to, you had to run. You had to run away from the strong safety. Everybody put the strong safety in the field, so you ran in the boundary.
All right. Next up, Will Howard had his first pick. All on him, or partially to blame with the receiver?
Or maybe the third part of it, Skip, is a good play by the defensive back.
All right.
Long play that looked like it could have been to the naked eye, a 50-50 ball, but. You like the aggressiveness going for it.
Yeah, Coach, you probably know this too, but the receiver, sometimes if they can set him up a little bit, push him a little bit towards, the numbers there, and then have a little bit of room to work so you can break out on that, you can get out there and make a play. Now, another thing, too, you got to turn it into a defender sooner or later. When you know it's coming up, it's in the air. If you can't get it, then no one can get it. And, again, like Paul said, the DB made a nice play and was able to hold on to it.
Sometimes we don't give that other team enough credit.
Still,
that guy defensive back made a great play, guys.
Yeah.
Still very efficient for Howard, 16 of 20, 275, the 2 touchdowns to Igbuka and Smith, though, so don't forget that either.
No, he's operating with a great deal of comfortability out there, and you can really kind of tell how everybody else responds to it.
All right, defense. Is it good in a strange way that the Buckeye defense got pushed around a little bit?
I think so, because that way there's a little humility that comes about. They have a little adversity to have to figure out how to work around. And, coaches certainly don't want to see somebody score, but it gives them some ammunition.
Yeah, when the first two teams you went against didn't put, any points on the board, hardly they gave up 6, and then you gave up a shutout. The standard has been set. And, they gave up 14 points. They scored 49. Boom, they had enough to win the ball game. But I think it is a pride factor. I think when you look at Tyleik Williams not being out there in the ball game, that's a huge, as far as run stopping and, getting pressure. And then, the quarterback run, hurt Ohio State. They found some gaps, running against us. And, we had some tackles, maybe some missed tackles, too, on that quarterback that you want to make sure that you get that thing figured out.
Coach Cooper, all right, we're going to move on to special teams. I'm going to ask you this, Coach. Ohio State very fortunate with Ennis's muff that there was a penalty on Marshall. You brought this up last segment. We could have easily been tied at 14 early in the second quarter. We'll never know if things may have played out differently. Regardless, if the sun's in the player's eye, that's the receiver, just get out of the way. No?
Get out of the way. Don't try to catch it if you can't see it 100%. That's for sure. But we cannot make those kind of mistakes on special teams and win against a really good football team.
Yeah, you could definitely see it on the second punt. He had his hand up there blocking the sun and making sure that, he could at least find the football and then try to catch it. But I agree with what Coach said, man. If you can't catch it, just, poison call. You just run, you get away, and let that ball bounce. And if it bounces out, in the end zone, great. If it's down at the 2 or 3 yard, at least you still have the football and you have possession of it.
All right, next, Coach Day received a penalty for supposedly barking at the officials when Marshall was taking too long to make a defensive substitution, had to call a timeout. At what point do the officials either stop the play clock or call the defense for delay a game?
Hopefully the next time that happens. And Coach Day said that it's something that, teams and if you read between the lines, it sounds like that's not the only time that he'd experienced that happening or knew of it happening. So that's one of those where, and Coach, I don't know if you had this or not, but, during the week after a game, you call the Big Ten office, you call, whether it was Dave Perry or God rest his soul or whoever at the officiating office and put that in their minds.
You might call that Big Ten office Saturday afternoon after the game. The other thing I didn't understand, why did it take the officials so long to make decisions?
It seemed like like all the replays, all that seemed to take a lot of time. When the ball went out of bounds, they didn't know if it was fumbled out of bounds or whose ball that was there. They did seem to spend a lot of extra time reviewing all that stuff, but we're kind of used to 3.5-hour football games around here, so that's what it was. But yeah, they need to kind of get the pace of play. But again, Ohio State likes to play fast, so teams are going to use different tactics, to kind of slow them down. Some people will call scuba, which one of your defensive players takes a dive, falls down, acts like he's injured, and then, they'll come out there and attend to him, and then they'll get up and be in 2 plays later.
All right, last thing. Rate the opponents. How will Marshall fare on the Sun Belt?
Very curious to see how they'll do. I think they could do pretty well, especially if Stone Earl, their quarterback, has not sustained any lingering injury. Also, we noticed, too, Christian Fitzpatrick, their receiver, the young man that transferred from Michigan State, he wasn't out there a lot in the latter portion of the game. You hope that he's not got an injury because he's a guy that could be a matchup problem. But they look like they could be a team that could contend in the Sun Belt.
Yeah, I wonder if Fitzpatrick was banged up. Him and Davidson Igbinosun were going at it early on in that ball game. Both of them were fighting extremely hard, and there's even stuff going out of bounds on the Marshall sideline. I really like that Elijah Metcalf, number 9. I thought he stood up and made some nice plays for them. I was able to extend it. A.J. Turner, the running back, I thought, again, he was a guy that had some ability to make some plays out there. And their center, Logan Osborne's pretty good. So they have some talent, they have some skill, and, I think that they're a team that gets 6 wins and has a chance to, be bowl eligible.
Coach Cooper?
I think they're better than that. I think they'll win maybe 8 games.
Yeah.
They got the next five or six games at home.
All right, guys, great job. Tonight's broadcast, as well as all of our Buckeye Roundtables throughout the season, are available on our flagship station's YouTube page. Simply search WBNS Radio on YouTube. You can watch live or later if you miss any part of it. You can also download the Buckeye Roundtable podcast wherever you find your podcasts, and be sure to subscribe to both. What happened this past weekend around the Big Ten? We'll break it all down for you next as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access.
The cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, getting ahead in this world is not as complicated as it might seem. Having the early guidance and counsel of your community banker, one who knows you and your family's story, can make a great deal of difference. Relationships matter. Bank on community banking. I'm Scott McComb, CEO. Coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
The kickoff to savings event is here at AgPro. Through September 30th, we're offering 0 down and 0% for 84 months on John Deere compact tractors. Get a 1025R tractor with loader for just $279.99 per month, or a 3025E tractor with loader for only $349.99 per month. Visit your local AgPro store today. Offer ends September 30th. Limited time offer. Some exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than the roomy new Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time, so you can take your travels even farther. Now through September 30th, you can lease a Camry LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing with approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Book your room now. Toyota. Let's go places.
Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone. Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, where you rule. Ohio State at Michigan State on Saturday. We'll be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 5:30 p.m. Buckeye Roundtable is presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. Buckeye fans, say goodbye to higher rates with a fixed price plan from AEP Energy. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's time for the Buckeye Roundtable Big Ten Breakdown.
Bredesen close, Mullings deep. Orji takes the snap, handoff, Kalel Mullings running left into the end zone. Touchdown, Wolverines. With 37 seconds to go, Kalel Mullings converts, and the Wolverines are back on top.
Doug Harsh on Learfield, Michigan, a late touchdown to best USC 27-24.
Well, it was the run before that Mullings had that really kind of sealed the deal to get him in the position for that. But, you know, the question is, well, there's a number of questions. Yes. First off, USC, we thought they'd gotten a little better defensively, obviously not. Can Michigan sustain success by only, 32 yards passing?
Yeah, 7 or 12.
Yeah. Mullings showed that we know what Donovan Edwards can do running the ball. We don't need to see that nightmare again. But, to be able to run the ball and just eschew the pass like that, can they continue to do that long term?
The answer is very simple.
No.
No.
More conference action. This one on Friday in Lincoln, Nebraska, hosted Illinois.
First and goal, Illinois at the 4 of Nebraska. Now we get an I formation. Altmaier under center, turns, throws to the end zone. Got a man wide open. Touchdown!
Yes,
touchdown,
sir.
Illinois. Pat Bryant with the catch.
Yes,
Another
sir.
touchdown for Bryant. And the Illini vault back in front. 30-24 on the touchdown.
Brian Barnhart on Learfield. Illini win it in overtime, 31-24.
So much talk about Dylan Raiola, the Nebraska quarterback, and he's going to be a good one, it looks like. But Luke Altmaier, an experienced quarterback, had himself a hell of a football game. That Bryant is an impressive receiver. And I don't know if people realize how good Brett Bielema's defense is. Not great, but they're good. They're very good.
Yeah, Altmaier had 4 TDs in that ball game, but Nebraska's killing themselves. They had 9 penalties in that game, 3 personal fouls. It gives them 28 penalties on the year. I mean, again, they're 3-1. They're taking care of business, but they did. And then they're a pass-happy team. 297 yards passing, just 50 yards on the ground. They got to balance that out a little bit.
And they had a backup kicker who didn't come through for them, too. Their regular was hurt.
And Coach Cooper, you just don't know if this is going to steamroll backwards. We've seen it before with Nebraska. Once it starts, another one-score loss for them.
Yeah, absolutely. What you see is what you coach, Those guys make mistakes. That's to me, that's coaching.
To Minneapolis, where Minnesota hosted Iowa.
14-14 with 6 minutes to go in the third period. Caleb Johnson breaks loose. He's at the 25-20, 15-10, 5 goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Iowa! The Hawks are back in front, 21-14. Vintage Caleb Johnson breaking couple tackles at the line of scrimmage and then vaulting into the end zone at the end of a 35-yard run.
Gary Dolphin on Learfield. Hawkeyes pull away in the second half to beat Minnesota 31-14.
We knew a couple of years ago he was good, but he's taken it up a level, Jim.
He sure has. He's, had a 200-yard rushing game. He's rushed for over 100 every game he's been in there, and he only played half of the first game because he was held out. So, I mean, he's that offensive line's getting it done right now for him. They're still a little bit, leaning on the run. And, the passing games is not where it needs to be right now, so they got to get that worried. But down 14-7, people were, they took a knee before the half and didn't try to go for any points. Again, they were kind of backed up, but then came out that third quarter with a different mindset. Defense really was able to shut down Minnesota, frustrate him, and, outscored them 24-0 in the second half.
We'll see Iowa in here next week, Coach Cooper, but very impressive as far as what they did in the second half there.
24-0 at halftime, and they're going. They're going to be well coached. They're going to play hard. They're not going to beat themselves. Might as well get ready for that.
The boat sprung a leak.
Another conference game to Seattle, where Washington hosted Northwestern.
Second down and 8 to go from the 13. Snap. Play fake to Muhammad. Good pass pro for Muhammad. Throws to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Denzel Boston again. His second today and his fifth of the season. A 13-yard slant pattern to Denzel Boston into the end zone. And the Huskies have a 16-0 lead here in the first half in their first Big Ten game.
Tony Castricone on Learfield. Huskies beat the Cats 31-14.
Experienced quarterback in Will Rogers, and Northwestern trouble on the line of scrimmage, especially in the offensive line.
Well, they held Northwestern 112 yards, 2 interceptions, and Washington had a goal line stand against them. It's just not going to get it done at the Huskies, especially when you're playing out there in Seattle.
Non-conference action to Baton Rouge, where UCLA was at LSU.
First down, goal to go from the UCLA 2. Heavy set up front for LSU. Snap to Nussmeier. Give to Williams. They're just going to try to follow behind the offensive line. And Williams is in. Touchdown. Fighting Tigers. 2-yard touchdown, and the Tigers back on top. 23-17 with a point after upcoming.
Chris Blair, LSU Network. They beat the Bruins 34-17.
And UCLA still having shaky quarterback play from Ethan Garbers.
Shut them out in the second half.
Wow.
That's a tough place to play down there in Baton Rouge.
UCLA had 22 rushing attempts for 14 yards.
Yikes.
That's just not going to get it done. And they gave up 5 sacks, so they got to toughen up at the line of scrimmage.
Bloomington is next. Could the Hoosiers keep things rolling against Charlotte?
2 receivers on either side. Horton goes in motion now on the near side. Here's a snap. Pitch out. Goes to Black. Black 20, 15, 10, 5. Dives for the end zone. Did he get it in? He does. Touchdown, Indiana. 21-yard run by Kalen Black in Indiana. On the board again, and they're doing a lot of it with the run game right now.
Don Fisher on Learfield. Indiana's offense ball keeps humming. They beat Charlotte 52-14.
Certainly have. And what you see, Skip, is they seem to really kind of display the attitude of their coach. Kurt Cignetti, fantastic coach. He's had a lot of he looks like he's always in an awful mood. And it just seems as though it keeps that team properly on edge.
All he's done is win, Coach Cooper, though. Every place he's been, he wins.
He's doing a great job over there, I'm telling you right now. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, Curtis Rourke again playing at a high level, 16-20 in that ball game, had 1 passing TD, and then showed some ability running the football, had 1 TD rushing. So, they're a team that can keep you off balance right now.
Other non-conference games, could Rutgers remain unbeaten at Virginia Tech?
Brown, the handoff straight up the middle to the goal line. He's in for the Rutgers touchdown. Sam Brown has got the score, his first of the season for Rutgers, and the Scarlet Knights off to an early 13-0 lead.
Chris Carlin on Learfield. Knights are 3-0. They beat Va-Tech 26-23.
If they don't fall behind, Skip, then they're going to have Brown and Kyle Monungai just run the ball. And we've all talked about it because of their schedule. Rutgers could be the real fly in the ointment of the Big Ten this year.
I agree.
That was 23-7 in the third quarter. You know, Rutgers was dominating. They gave up 16 points to Virginia Tech in that fourth quarter, let them get back in a little bit to make the score a little bit closer. But, hey, you know, they're 3-0 right now, undefeated. Everything's going well for Greg Schiano and the Rutgers.
Next to Corvallis were Purdue. Was it Oregon State?
First and 10, Beavers at the Boilermaker 26, 17-7 Beavs, under a minute to go. Fly sweep action to Card. Zachary to the 20, 15, 10, 5, right sideline and in. Touchdown Beavers. Zachary Card on the fly sweep.
Mike Parker on Learfield. The Beavers beat the Boilers 38-21.
You know, the other week when Matt Leinart was on Fox's pregame show, he referred to Corvallis as the place where dreams go to die. Obviously, any dreams Purdue had after they got hammered by Notre Dame, those dreams never got off the ground. Coach Cooper, you know about Corvallis.
Started my coaching career there, guys. Would you believe we went tonight to the Rose Bowl?
I know.
In the mid-'60s.
And that was the last one, wasn't it?
They haven't been back, no.
The Beavers rushed for 341 yards on 57 attempts. They found something, a weakness at Purdue, and just kept hammering it.
Elsewhere, Penn State blanks Kent State. Maryland over Villanova. Boston College defeats Michigan State in the rain. 23-19 was the score there. Anything stand out about any of those other ball games?
Michigan State, only because of the fact that that's who Ohio State plays next, had their chances, but couldn't take advantage of it. We'll talk about that more because of turnovers, but probably that more than anything.
And good to see Maryland, you know, take advantage of and doing what they're supposed to do against Villanova. You know, just kind of dominated that game from start to finish, and you know, got the big win.
This week, Wisconsin is at USC. Illinois is at Penn State. Minnesota is at Michigan. Maryland travels to Indiana. Nebraska will be at Purdue. Oregon at UCLA. Friday night, Washington is at Rutgers. Welcome to the Big
Thank you for joining the Big Ten.
2,400 miles. And on a short weekend, you got to play on Friday night.
I know. Really anxious to see Illinois Penn State, because remember the last time they played in State College, Illinois won a multiple overtime game, but also Maryland and Indiana. Jim, you talked about Maryland. You know, their repeat behavior has been do well in the non-conference and then struggle in the Big Ten. But really, can Indiana keep the ball rolling?
Yeah, I mean, I got to think Indiana would be favored in that ball game because, you know, Maryland could give them a shot, you know, because they got some playmakers. They have some skill out there, and I think they're a little bit better on the line of scrimmage this year.
All right, join Coach Ryan Day and experts from across Buckeye Nation to preview every matchup and break down each week's game. Game Time with Ryan Day airs Saturday mornings at 9 on 10 TV in Columbus and statewide on Bally Sports Ohio. Coming up, we will hear from Ohio State Coach Ryan Day. Also, Tim May right around the corner as well as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
As the official hot dog of Ohio State athletics, Sugardale is dedicated to delicious. Whether you're cheering on the Buckeyes at the game or grilling at your home tailgate, you can count on Sugardale to score a touchdown. Made right here in Ohio for more than 100 years, Sugardale has always taken a personal approach to making great-tasting, high-quality meats. Look for Sugardale hot dogs, bacon, ham, and more at your local grocery store.
Family dinners, game nights, and holiday parties. It all happens at home, and we want to help you realize your dream of homeownership. We are the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and if you're ready to buy a home, we may be able to help. Visit myohiohome.org for more information on down payment assistance, lower interest rates, and more. OFA makes purchasing a home more affordable. Visit myohiohome.org. Home ownership. Make it part of your future.
Hey there, Buckeye fans. Coach Day here. When you're getting ready for game day, make sure you start with the Kroger app. The app gives you easy access to weekly sales and personalized coupons, and you can earn fuel points too. And best of all, when you shop with the app, you'll enjoy the same low prices you'd find in-store. So check out the app and save while you're cheering us on to another great season. Kroger, fresh for everyone, and go Buckeyes.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show, presented by Burger King. For You Rule with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. For every Buckeye touchdown scored this season, the Heartland Bank Community Foundation will make a donation to the USO of Central and Southern Ohio, benefiting our active duty military personnel and their families. For more information or to support our troops, go to usocso.org and be the force behind the forces. Ohio State at Michigan State coming up on Saturday night. We will be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 5:30 p.m. You might have seen something in the news, a little flipperoo on a couple of game times. We were one of them, but it's actually only, extending our pregame maybe 15 minutes or so. We can handle that.
Is that all?
That is all. So
all right, we can do that.
You can do that in your sleep, no question. 5:30 is when we'll be on the air with our pregame beginning in East Lansing. Joined for a few minutes now by Tim May of Letterman Row. We're going to switch things up. Coach Day will join us coming up next segment. And, Tim, we touched on this briefly earlier. I've been harping about it for a couple of years. Should there be some sort of rule in your mind as far as adjustment when the official is over the ball waiting for a defensive substitution where the play clock is then stopped and then restarted? I mean, I've been waiting for this to become a defensive strategy that could potentially impact the outcome of a game.
Well, yeah, there should, but I'm against it because then I wouldn't be able to use the word waiting on lollygaggers in a question to Ryan Day. So, you always got to look out for yourself, right, in these things. Of course, there should be some kind of adjustment when it's clear the other team is, pardon the expression, lollygagging, getting their players out there. And you can see an official, if he can judge intent, on a
targeting
crown the helmet type play, then you can definitely judge intent on somebody going out really slow or getting his players in. In my opinion, it should have been delay a game. And but it's just like the guys that fall down, with mystery, like Kirk Herbstreit pointed out the other day. I mean, you see it all the time, guys falling down with mystery helmets, and then the next play they're back in the game just to stop the clock. So, yeah, they need to crack down on that a little bit more than they're doing, for sure.
Tim, we need to call a delay of the game on those officials, if you ask me. It took those guys forever.
Right. Dude, Coach Cooper, when they threatened to call back that Emeka Egbuka play, a lot of teams now, they run this play where you line up two guys on the line of scrimmage. You got three guys flanked right or left. You've got two of them up on the line of scrimmage, which, of course, makes one of them ineligible. But the pass was clearly thrown behind the line of scrimmage to Emeka Egbuka, and then the flag comes out anyway. And I'm just going, it's kind of bugging me a little bit because I'm really starting to question some of the competency of some of the people we see calling games now from the official standpoint. It's not knocking all of them, but some of them are just, maybe they're not ready for prime time or something. But that was an obvious, it was right in front of the guy. And he was standing on the line of scrimmage, and he could clearly see Emeka Egbuka had gone behind the line of scrimmage because it happened right in front of him, and he still throws his flag for, I think, ineligible players downfield. So that's the stuff that really bugs you is what are you looking at?
I got a two-parter for you, Tim. They're missing Tyleik Williams. You can tell that they're missing Tyleik Williams. You can tell that. You can tell that. And I thought, early in that game, the way they were making plays. And then, it seems like Lathan Ransom has really stepped up his game. He had 8 tackles in that ball game, 171 now. Do you think when Caleb Downs came there and all the talk about here, they kind of lit a fire under Lathan Ransom because he's playing lights out?
Yeah, but, here's the point, because I did a little story about that last week, I think it was, or a week before, about having those two safeties on the field at the same time, the comfort level it gives a defensive coordinator. I was talking with Jim Knowles about it, and it's clear that both of these guys are elite. And, you guys know this. You and Paul and Skip, y'all were watching the games last year, and Coach Cooper was too, an old safety from the Dirty 30. But you were watching the games last year. Lathan Ransom was tracking toward being in my opinion, the All Big Ten, one of the All Big Ten safeties, and perhaps All-American team recognition before he limped out of that game against Wisconsin. And you know what Caleb Downs is all about. Just because Caleb Downs isn't necessarily having big stats yet or that real gotcha play, he's still, if you watch him, he's doing things extraordinary, getting up on the line of scrimmage to playing deep. It's a comfort level. But back to what you were asking about, Tyleik Williams side in there, you saw some guys who were playing but maybe weren't quite ready for prime time, even though it was high noon. Maybe they weren't quite ready for high noon, but I think they're coming along, and they got to bring some guys along. Tywan Malone was a big plus for them. He's been around there for 2 years now, and transferred from Ole Miss, and it's kind of about time he step up, and according to Jim Knowles, he did. So you saw him make a couple of plays.
You buy into the fact a little resistance from an opponent was good, Tim?
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody asked today about, they really faced any adversity, and I went, well, they've had 2 come from behind wins. What are you talking about? In the opener, and then last week, they were trailing 7-0. And but yeah, absolutely. As Jim Knowles said, today, I'm paraphrasing, but it's a lot more fun learning from a couple of mistakes and still winning the game pretty well, as Bear Bryant used to say, than it is having a couple of mistakes and losing. So without a doubt, the defense, they're facing a guy this week in Aiden Giles who's quite the scrambler, quite a good runner, fast dude, sort of a much better Stone Earl, for want of another term, but he kind of throws the ball. What you want him to do is definitely throw the ball based on what we've seen so far, and the big key will be keeping him from hurting you, especially on third down scrambles.
Tim, with Cody Simon back in there now the last couple of ball games, what have you liked to see out of these linebackers, so far? I know Sonny Styles made some plays out there and was able to, get out there and do his thing. Maybe a missed tackle or two, but still, you got Cody, you got Arvell, and you got Sonny all banging away out there along with C.J. Hicks.
Yeah, especially Cody and Arvell play in the same position for the most part. It's kind of like 2 different kind of quarterbacks you're facing from an offensive standpoint. And you got to like the way Arvell Reese is coming along. I was asking Jim Knowles about that today, the where he really stepped up. He was a flash before. Now he's more like a flashing light, continually and getting better all the time from the standpoint of his accountability from play to play. But then when you got Cody Simon in there, Cody Simon is a guy that everybody turns to in that defense for direction. But interestingly, as we were talking about today during the press conference, Sonny Styles had the green dot on his helmet this past week, which was interesting. But I'm not sure how much defense they're calling through the headphones, on the players' helmets, meaning whoever's got the green dot helmet. But it was interesting. It's almost like they're using that to adjust some other things, which is the way any smart team would.
Tim May, Letterman Road. Tim, we always appreciate your time. Thanks for the segment swap this evening, and then we'll see you up there in East Lansing, okay?
Skip, I've always got an extra 30 minutes in me, man. If you just want to extend that tailgate show, you guys understand that. I'm going to be right there next door to you, so I'm looking forward to Saturday for sure.
If anybody can fill 30, it's Tim May, no doubt about it. So all good. Tim May, we always appreciate your time. Up next, we'll be ready to we'll visit. Scheduled to be joined by Ohio State head coach Ryan Day. Scheduled to appear. That is next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
Where more than 1,700 scientists are working on new treatments and new hope for every form of cancer.
You're making the choice to have the most advanced treatments, many of which were developed right here.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than in a roomy new Toyota, like the best-selling RAV4. Now through September 30th, get 4.99 APR financing on a new gas-powered 2024 RAV4. Or lease a RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details. Or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
Hey Columbus, looking for the perfect day trip? Head to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Dive into football history, see legendary players, and enjoy interactive exhibits. Fun for the whole family. Visit ProFootballHOF.com for tickets. The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, where it's always football season.
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show. It's presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. Again, Ohio State at Michigan State coming up on Saturday. We'll be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 5:30 p.m. We're joined for a few minutes now by Ohio State head coach Ryan Day. His comments are presented by Kroger. And Coach Day, thanks for your time. What was the biggest thing you liked about the way your team responded after getting down early on Saturday?
just overall, I felt like we learned a lot coming out of the game. And that's the most important thing. Back on the field today, looking to get better, identifying the things that we've done well, areas we've got to improve on. But it's great when you have some things to coach up off of film. And there certainly were some good things on Saturday, but a lot of things we've got to improve at. We're still got a long way to go this season, and so good to get those identified. Get them addressed, and back to work now.
Coach, you've talked a lot about the competition amongst one another in practice. Is there certainly the coaches put the effort into making that happen, but are you seeing that the players are understanding that idea of sharpening their skills against one another?
Yeah, every day in practice, it's you have to bring it here. There's nowhere to hide at Ohio State, and it's our job as coaches to make sure we're creating enough of an environment in the individual drills, group drills, and then obviously in the teamwork that there's great competition. And although we may not be playing a game, it should be like that every time you walk on a field and pads. And Tuesdays and Wednesdays should be harder than Saturdays if we're doing it the right way, because we got great players on both sides of the ball, and you got to bring it here. You're not allowed to have a bad day, and that's the message. And these guys have definitely bought into that.
Coach, you mentioned that you thought Josh Simmons played one of his better games here, and I agree with you. I thought we had a lot of success running left. Of course, having Donovan Jackson back inside was good, but that toss crack, that's a hard concept to stop right now once we get our tackles out there in space.
Yeah, and you see the athleticism. When Josh is very athletic, we feel like we have some good athletes, and that's not our fastball, but it's a good change up.
Yep.
And when those guys are out in space, like you've seen, I know you know what that was like. To kind of get out there and get those guys moving, and and when it's timed up correctly, as a lineman, you feel like you can go full speed, and even if you miss, and the defender tries to avoid you, well, he runs himself out of the play. And so when you have that type of confidence, that really helps. And that's a big part of the timing of how everybody's in phase on that play. But good to have some athletes who out in space who can do some things, not only on that play but also on some of the screens that we saw.
Coach, you guys seem to me like have made some great halftime adjustments. Did the fact that you can have more coaches this year, does that have a real effect on any of those adjustments or information you might have gained in the first half?
I think the one thing that's probably the biggest difference is, the tablets. You're able to see what's happening. Play against some teams and coaches who have some really good ideas and really good thoughts. And, those first, couple drives, they're going to come at you with some different things. And now with the tablets, we're certainly able to identify those things quicker and get them communicated to our players.
You've talked a lot about how it has to be about what your team does, but is there a feeling that there's an extra little jump, an extra little sizzle about conference play starting, Coach?
There's no question. Yeah, going on the road, conference play, night game, at Michigan State, and you get ramped up here. There's no question. Our guys, understand, and these guys went on the road and beat Maryland. So that's got our attention for sure. And so we got to go get our first road win, and there's a lot that comes with that. And we're expecting a great crowd, night game. So got to have a great week of preparation.
Coach, when Caden Curry hit the quarterback, did you think right away that's going to be a targeting? He was going to be ejected, or again, it just seems a little bit subjective in my mind right now.
Yeah, well, I think it's very difficult to see in real time, and I don't know how these guys are officiating that or identifying that because I didn't recognize that at all. But when you watch the replay, I guess you have a different point of view on it. It is a challenge, there's no question, and our guys are frustrated, but we're going to keep trying to make sure that we teach it the right way and play within the rules. But we also got to be aggressive, it's one thing to watch something in slow motion like that, but we're asking these guys to run full speed and hit. So definitely something we got to keep working on.
Ohio State coach Ryan Day. Coach, we always appreciate your time. We'll see you Thursday for your radio show, okay?
Have a good night, guys. Thanks.
All right, it's Coach's Comments presented by Kroger. Kroger Pickup is the easy way to get what you want right when you need it. Try Kroger Pickup today in the Kroger app or at Kroger.com. Again, Ohio State at Michigan State. And, Paul, you alluded to it. I mean, when conference play begins, it's just something a little bit different as far as it's kind of the meaning as far as when you're at a place like Ohio State.
It certainly does. And, Skip, it's a different element now, too. There's no more divisions. which is kind of a good thing. Maybe the offshoot, it's a really good thing, but the offshoot is, when there were divisions, you could maybe suffer one loss and then pile up on people in your same division. But there's got to, especially going on the road, as Coach Day said, a Michigan State team that won a road conference game already. So, and we've seen a couple of in recent years narrow 1-point wins that have been crucial.
We kind of took it for granted going to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship all those
Miss
years.
it now.
Yeah, we do. Let's get back there.
It's going to be interesting to see at the end of the year. I just have a feeling there's going to be a whole bunch of one-loss teams at the end of the year to see how this tiebreaker works out. So
it'll be a mess.
Hopefully, it's a different person that sets the game time.
So stay undefeated.
One thing I remember about going to Michigan State, both teams come out of the same locker room.
It is tough over there, no doubt. We'll see that up there on Saturday night. Coming up, hour 2 of Buckeye Roundtable, our Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Player of the Week award is next. Our American Dairy Association's Mideast's top high school performances and whip around the state. Our Insiders Access tonight, Patrick Murphy, Bucknuts 24/7 Sports will join us. All coming up hour number 2 here on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
It is time to square off against overpriced family dinners with Donato's all-new bakery crust pizza. A square-cut, thicker bakery-style crust with smoked provolone cheese and Donato's fresh toppings, plus your choice of marinara, ranch, or garlic sauce for dipping. The crust is thicker, but the deal is the kicker. Right now, you can get 2 one-topping bakery crust pizzas for just $19.99. It's a whole lot of pizza for not a lot of dough. Order with the app or at donatos.com.
Hey, Buckeye fans! As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye playoff game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith, Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag #BuckeyesCare.
I'm proud to play for The Ohio State University. I remember earning my first Buckeye sticker on my helmet. It gave me pride, it gave me energy, and gave me another reason to win. To be a Buckeye football player like me, Emeka Ibuka, is to know I am part of a legacy. Weber Grills is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, and as a 72-year-old brand, they know a thing or two about legacies. To celebrate these shared legacies, Weber launched an officially licensed limited edition Ohio State Premium Kettle Grill, inspired by our iconic helmets. Get yours at a local Ohio retailers.
At Bob's Discount Furniture, when you find a complete dining set that seats 6 and comes with an extendable leaf for only $5.99.
Oh my, Bob.
And a sofa that doubles as a chaise and a bed and storage like my Playscape for only $9.99.
Oh my, Bob.
And a queen mattress with world-famous Bobapedic memory foam and an 18-year warranty like my Treasure for only $7.99.
Oh my, Bob.
Well, there's only one thing to say. Oh my, Bob. Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good evening. Buddy Wells coming off of their 49-14 win over Marshall this past Saturday. Third-ranked Ohio State will hit the road for the first time this season. On this coming Saturday night, the Buckeyes make the trip up to East Lansing for a matchup against Michigan State. Kickoff is set for 7:30. Just a reminder, that'll be a Peacock-only broadcast between the Buckeyes and Spartans. Of course, you can listen to Paul and Jim call all the action for you for that game right here on The Fan. Just 5 games left in the regular season for both the Guardians and Reds. Tonight, the two meet in Cleveland for a 2-game set as they battle it out for the Ohio Cup. The two teams split the 2-game set in Cincinnati back in June. And looking ahead to this weekend in the NFL, the Bengals and Browns are both out on the road. Cincinnati looks for their first win of the season as they face the Panthers in Carolina at 1 o'clock. And the Browns will head to Sin City where they take on the Las Vegas Raiders at 4:25. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than in a roomy new Toyota. Like the family-size Highlander with room for up to 8. Now through September 30th, you can lease a Highlander XLE all-wheel drive for $489 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King is on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
And welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show. Tonight's broadcast, as well as all of our Buckeye Roundtables throughout the season, are available on our flagship station's YouTube page. Simply search WBNS Radio on YouTube. You can watch live or later if you miss any part of it. You can also download the Buckeye Roundtable podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to subscribe to both. Saturday, Ohio State at Michigan State. More on that coming up, but right now it's time to talk some high school football.
It's time for the Encova Insurance High School Player Award on Buckeye Roundtable.
One of the highlights of the Buckeye Roundtable show is the presentation of the Encova Insurance Archie Griffin Athlete of the Week Award. During each Roundtable show, Encova Insurance and the Ohio State Sports Network honor a high school athlete for their outstanding play and team leadership. And tonight's recipient is senior wide receiver, defensive back Jake Uhlenhake from Bishop Watterson High School here in Columbus. Friday night, Uhlenhake returned the opening kickoff 95 yards for a touchdown, had 2 additional touchdown receptions, including a 75-yarder, as Watterson beat Chardon 41-9. The Eagles are coached by Brian Kennedy. They're 5-0 and will play at 3-2 Bishop Hartley on Friday night. Again, congratulations to Jake Uhlenhake from Bishop Watterson High School, the recipient of this week's Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Athlete of the Week Award. Encova Insurance, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtable's American Dairy Association Mideast top performers and our whip around the state.
You know, we're getting old when we know. You played with the father.
Yeah, congratulations, Jake. I played with Jeff, and did you know Jeff's dad, Jim, went to St. Henry High School, so it goes way back. He graduated back there in the late 50s, early 60s. Skip, I got one here. Amherst quarterback Cole Harris threw for 347 yards and 3 touchdowns and added 90 yards on the ground and 4 more scores, leading Amherst past Berea Mid-Park 60-41.
DeSales running back Jonathan Brown rushed for 145 yards and 3 touchdowns as DeSales downed Reedy 35-21.
Lakota East quarterback Jamison Kitten, 18 out of 27 passing, 299 yards, 5 touchdowns. Lakota East defeated Fairfield 59-17. Nobody's playing defense around here.
His dad, John Kitten, is the coach.
Yes. Yeah, it makes sense. Steubenville quarterback Aiden Davis was an efficient 14 of 18 passing for 152 yards and a pair of touchdowns in Steubenville's big 42-7 win over Dover.
Harvey running back Sean Alston had only 6 carries Well, they went for 208 yards, 4 of them for touchdowns as Harvey raced past Conneaut 47-13.
I got a wide receiver, guys, out of Cincinnati. Anderson, receiver, Caden Pining, had 6 receptions for 128 yards and a touchdown. Anderson, 41-0 win over Kings.
Gahanna quarterback Brennan Ward was 18 of 23 passing for 230 yards and 3 touchdowns, leading Gahanna past Dublin Kaufman 41-21.
West Claremont running backs Bo Rickman and Landon Young combined for 378 yards on the ground. Young with 192, Rickman with 178. They each scored 3 touchdowns as West Claremont beat Milford 49-21.
Talawana quarterback Cale Leach, he's only 18 out of 19, guys, for 230 yards, 62 yards on the ground, and another touchdown. Talawana defeated Archbishop Carroll 35-12.
Up north, Mentor quarterback Scotty Fox was 16 of 23 passing for 303 yards and 3 touchdowns and added 37 yards on the ground. In another score, as Mentor defeated Cleveland Heights 35-27.
Akron Hoban running back Brayton Feaster, 16 carries for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns as Hoban beat St. Ignatius 45-14.
Massillon running back Jameer Gamble had 24 carries for 148 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Massillon defeated Cleveland St. Ed's 31-21.
That's a good one there, no doubt. Those were not the only great performances from around the state. Let's begin our weekly whip. We'll start in Northwest Ohio. A couple of good ones there as we hear from WNDH's Dave Kleck.
In the northwest corner, Napoleon wins over Springfield with George Eggers, junior running back, rushing for 186 yards and 4 touchdowns. He added some tackles on defense as well. And it was the Paulding Panthers with a 35-0 win over Ayersville. Colton Hunt threw for 303 yards, 5 touchdowns. The Paulding Panthers remain unbeaten at 5-0. From WNDH in Napoleon, I'm Dave Kleck.
South into Allen County. Tons of offensive numbers there as we say hello to WIMA's Todd Walker.
Bath outlasted Elida 62-56 Friday night at Kraft Stadium. The Cats rolled up 626 yards of offense. Quarterback Zach Welsh ran for 114 and 3 scores. He passed for 249 and 3 more scores, while running back Mikey Hale had 251 yards rushing and 2 TDs, including a 99-yard run. The 4-1 Wildcats host Ottawa Glandorf this Friday. Reporting for 1150 WIMA in Lima, this is Todd Walker.
62-56. That's a high school basketball score.
It is. It's a good game.
Yeah, Montgomery County is our next stop. Big night on the ground. Here's WING's Justin Kinner.
Fairmont Firebirds sophomore running back Logan Doty had a career night this past Friday in the Firebirds' 43-22 road win at Wayne. Doty carried the ball a career-high 30 times and rushed for over 175 yards while punching it into the end zone 5 times. Doty had scored only 1 touchdown during his freshman season, and yet here we are at the halfway point a year later, his sophomore campaign. He leads the GWAC with 11 total touchdowns on the year. For ESPN 1410 Wing AM, I'm Justin Kinner in Dayton.
Southern Ohio to Scioto County. More big ground numbers from WNXT's Mark Williams.
The Northwest Mohawks rolled up 345 yards rushing at a 35-14 win over Minford on Friday on the road at Minford. Mohawk senior running backs Carter Runyon and Colton Campbell both eclipsed the 100-yard mark. Runyon tallying 131 yards and 3 TDs, with Campbell adding 128 yards on the ground, including a 69-yard jaunt to open the second half. Northwest will remain in conference play and travel to Lucasville to take on the Valley Indians this Friday night. Mark Williams, WNXT Radio, Portsmouth.
Circle up to Muskingum County. A big 2-way performance there. Here's WHIZ's David Kinder.
It was a big night on both sides of the ball for Philo's senior running back Talon Preston in Friday night's home win over Meadowbrook. On offense, he carried the ball 30 times for 179 yards and 3 touchdowns. And on defense, he picked off a Colts pass and took it back 100 yards for a touchdown. Philo going on to win 51-22. The Electrics started the season 0-2, but have now won 3 in a row, and they are at 4-1 Crooksville this Friday night. Reporting for WHIZ Radio in Zanesville, Roundtable. I'm David Kinder.
Final stop is Knox County. Big numbers there as we hear from WMBO's Tyler Mathias.
The East Knox Bulldogs are now 3-2 on the season after a road victory 49-20 at Cardington Lincoln on Friday night, and they were led by Blake Elliott for the second consecutive week. He broke the school's rushing record, taking over his record from the previous week, running for 304 yards on Friday night and 5 rushing touchdowns. Rush Beatty also had a 92-yard interception return for a touchdown for East Knox in that victory. They'll play at home against Mount Gilead this Friday night. Reporting from WMBO and WQAO, Adam Alberta, I'm Todd Mathias.
Thanks to all of our great affiliate contributions again this week. Good whip around the state. Home teams, fellas.
Well, Moeller beat St. Xavier, and I also had somebody ask me if I would mention that the Lakeview Bulldogs in Cortland beat Canton McKinley.
Okay.
St. Henry lost to the Anna Rockets 21-14, but the Grandview Heights Bobcats are 5-0. They beat Chesapeake, which is right across the Ohio River from Huntington.
You make it to a game, Coach Cooper?
I didn't go to the game enough. Arlington keeps winning.
How about the Hartley Hawks?
They were shut out big down in Ironton. They will host Watterson, as we heard, coming up this Friday night. Our top performers from around the state was presented by the American Dairy Association Mideast. A reminder that chocolate milk has 8 grams of protein to fuel everyone, including Ohio State offensive lineman Donovan Jackson. He's built like a Buckeye, and you can be too. Visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/built like a Buckeye to learn more. Any surprises around the top 25? We will discuss after further review as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Buckeye fans. Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,500 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than with family, like the Toyota Truck family. Now through September 30th, get $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra, depending on model. Or lease a Tacoma SR Double Cab for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
It is time to square off against overpriced family dinners with Donato's all-new bakery crust pizza. A square-cut, thicker bakery-style crust with smoked provolone cheese and Donato's fresh toppings, plus your choice of marinara, ranch, or garlic sauce for dipping. The crust is thicker, but the deal is the kicker. Right now, you can get 2 one-topping bakery crust pizzas for just $19.99. It's a whole lot of pizza for not a lot of dough. Order with the app or at donatos.com.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye playoff game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody. Tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show is presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. The Foundation's operating a 50-50 raffle at each Ohio State home football game this season, with proceeds supporting community-based NIL opportunities and The Foundation charities. For more information on how you can participate, visit OSU5050.com.
Buckeye Roundtable.
Greatest play is under further review.
After further review.
Low snap, good place, kick is up, and it is no good. Missouri wins in 2 OTs. He missed it wide left, and Missouri survives.
Oh, my goodness. Who would have ever guessed? Certainly not me.
Mike Kelly on Learfield, Missouri gets all they want from Vanderbilt. They hang on, as you heard, in double overtime, 30-27.
Eli Drinkwitz has really put together a good running program there where they've been able to, capitalize off the success they had last year. We saw them play at a pretty good level against Ohio State in that bowl game. They bring that experienced quarterback and receiving combo back there. But he's done an outstanding. Remember, he lost his defensive coordinator, and they had to kind of retool there.
They might lose him to Florida. I mean, could you think
Eli?
You never know.
Why not?
I mean, Brady Cook, the quarterback you're talking about, Luther Burden.
Yeah, Luther Burden.
The third. He had 6 receptions in that ball game, and they ran the ball for one. They had a back go for 199, Nate Knoll. So they got all the pieces put together over there in Missouri.
And Coach Cooper, you always say you better come to play, because a team like just if you think, well, Vanderbilt will just roll out here, no, forget about it. You got to play.
Absolutely, and you better get you a field goal kicker. That guy's going to win or lose you about 3 games a year.
To Stillwater, a top 25 matchup as Oklahoma State hosted Utah.
It's Brant Keithy and the Wildcat. They split Isaac Wilson out wide to the right-hand side. Keithy surveys the defense, takes the snap. He's going to run it himself into the end zone, and that's a Utah touchdown. Brant Keithy punches it in from a yard out, and the Utes lead it with 7:25 to play here in the first.
Bill Riley, Utah Network, they win it over Oklahoma State 22-19.
That's a tight end taking a snap and running it in. And, they really kind of went downhill when Keithy got hurt last year, not just Rising. If Cam Rising had played in that game, an Oklahoma State quarterback, Alan Bowman, who used to be at Michigan, they talked about how the combined ages of those two quarterbacks would have been about 70.
57, I think. But, yeah, I mean, Kyle Whittingham's got it going on. I mean, he's done a heck of a job. Yeah, every year he's a heck of a football coach, and they find ways to win. They're sitting at their 4-0 now.
They win ugly, but they win. But they win.
Staying in the same state, number 15, Oklahoma hosted number 6, Tennessee.
Nico back to throw. Play fake. Guns it over the middle again. He's got a fan to the 40-yard line. To the 20. To the 10. You can crank up Rocky Top. Touchdown, Tennessee. Dante Thornton over the middle, and he had it put right on him by Nico as he got the ball over the middle and raced 66 yards for a Tennessee touchdown.
Bob Kessling, Vol Network, Tennessee looks pretty good. They win at Oklahoma 25-15.
Skip, I love Bob Kessling, but it's Nico Iamaleava. Mention his last name.
Oh, it's everybody's first name.
Nico Iamaleava, who really is a young man that kind of late last year got on a roll and really is continuing it into this year.
You think that Tennessee coach wasn't happy?
Oh, yeah, former Oklahoma quarterback.
Yeah.
When the story came out, Bob Stoops, dismissed him while he was an assistant there, and really was kind of a rough time. But
he was runner-up for the Heisman Trophy, I think.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. And you know what? He was a very good coach about all week leading up to it. He didn't want to make it about him, and even in the interviews, it was about his team.
And there's a lot of talk about Nico and their offense over there, but they got a defense
Nico,
too.
I am a labor. I've been practicing.
But their defense really has been stout all year long.
To Austin, top-ranked Texas hosted Louisiana Monroe.
First and goal, Texas. The ball at the 4-yard line. Manning rolling to the right, off the snap, looks to the end zone, throws, caught. Touchdown, Texas, Jaden Blue.
Craig Way on Learfield, Texas cruises 51-3.
There are a lot of people that think Texas is playing at the level of being the best team in the country. You can't argue it. Mm-hmm. They've got the best road win of the year of anybody in the country, going to Ann Arbor and not just beating Michigan, but manhandling them. But, they're going to have a quandary. when Quinn Ewers is ready to come back and play, aren't they, Coach?
That backup quarterback's playing pretty good for
Yes,
Texas.
he is.
Although he did have 2 interceptions against UL Monroe, so that could be something that'll come back to maybe haunt him. But no, they're hitting on all cylinders right now.
Similar story for 5th-ranked Ole Miss as they hosted Georgia Southern.
Now throw down sideline 101. Harris has got it. Goodbye. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
Yep.
David Kellum on Learfield. Ole Miss big over Georgia Southern, as you would expect, 52-13.
And another quarterback playing at a very high level, Jackson Dart, who, if I remember, I think he was a transfer from USC, Jackson Dart. But, a guy that came back, probably could have pursued professional opportunities, maybe. But there's a lot of people that think that Ole Miss is going to have an awful lot to say about who wins the SEC.
They're playing pretty well.
Yeah, old Kiffin, coaching them up, getting it done, right now at Ole Miss. And you're right, Dart has been really on fire these first few ball games for them, and they're taking care of the business, which they should against Georgia Southern.
And his best running back transferred to the Ohio State.
Yeah. And one of their best cornerbacks. I like Davidson Igbinozen, too.
Yeah. The Mid-American Conference, fellas, is putting some scares into people. Saturday night, Texas A&M hosted Bowling Green.
Daniels to the left of Reed. 2 tight ends on each side. Play action fake to Amari. Slung to the end zone. Touchdown, Aggies. Ja'Day Walker.
Andrew Monaco on Learfield. Aggies hang on to beat Bowling Green 26-20.
And they made a nice rebound after suffering that Notre Dame loss. And that's twice early on this year. Bowling Green has scared the bejesus out of somebody.
They got one of the best tight ends in the country, and that Harold Fannin Jr., 8 receptions, 145 yards. He's more of a slot wide receiver, but he can do it all. He's a heck of a catcher out there when the ball's thrown his way. Had a TD in that game, too, and one for 65 yards against A&M.
One team that is more than nervous about the MAC is Notre Dame. Saturday, they hosted Miami, Ohio.
Shotgun snap for Leonard. Looking right. Going to take a shot. He's got Bo Collins down the sideline. Touchdown, Notre Dame. 38 yards from Leonard to Collins. And it's the first passing touchdown of the year for Riley Leonard.
Tony Simeone, Notre Dame Network, after a slow start, we were joking like they're going to fall 0-2 in the MAC. They beat the Redhawks 28-3.
Come from behind win. They were down 3-0.
Riley Leonard did it with his arm. He got a touchdown, and then, he had 143 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns in that game, so he's a dual threat.
Coach, you always got to be careful about those Mid-American Conference teams. You cannot overlook anybody.
Can't overlook anybody. That's exactly right.
Speaking of the MAC, there was one upset in the top 25 as number 23 Northern Illinois hosted Buffalo. It went to overtime.
From 37 yards away to win it, Upton Bellenfant for the Bulls. Snap, spot, kick, up on the way, and bullseye! The Bulls have knocked off the 23rd-ranked Northern Illinois Huskies 23-20 in overtime.
Paul Peck on Learfield, big win for Buffalo. I mean, all joking aside, it's a big win for them, 23-20.
Now you know why coaches get so nervous. Well, they're nervous and worried about everything anyway, but after their team has a big win, has a big moment, why coaches are always trying to keep their team grounded.
Hey, beat a ranked team, in the MAC. That's something to take home. And I think the last time I read that they beat a ranked opponent was when they beat Ball State back in 2008.
Coach Cooper, this week you look at the schedule, and Georgia, Alabama pretty much has to top everything as far as what's coming up this weekend in the top 25.
Georgia, Alabama, at Alabama. First time Alabama's been an underdog in how many years?
At home, yeah.
At home?
For a long time.
70 games or something like that.
Oklahoma State is at K-State. Louisville will be at Notre Dame. Another game time miscommunication is Illinois at Penn State coming up on Saturday.
Does that have something to do with the bird?
Actually, no. It was somebody giving the bird from the conference that didn't. Thank goodness they're not taking tea times this weekend because they would mess it all up. Everybody would miss it and they'd be late. Coming up, we'll put a final bow on the Marshall victory and look ahead to Michigan State. That's all next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelight.com. Safelight Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelight Repair, Safelight Replace.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith, Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag #BuckeyesCare.
Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. Growing up in the family business, I've seen firsthand the joy and love that comes with finding the perfect engagement ring. For over 77 years, our family's been dedicated to providing the best quality, unmatched selection, and the guaranteed best price. From timeless classics to custom designs, we have the perfect ring for every love story. Let our family help you celebrate the moments that mean the most. Visit Diamond Cellar today on Salmo Road or at Easton Town Center.
I love the neighborhood where I grew up, but it was tough.
Ohio State championship quarterback Cardale Jones.
Football helped me find my direction, but I also needed the right support system. I remember seeing that care source hard around town and just knowing they had my back. That's the kind of difference they still make in neighborhoods like mine. And that means the world to so many children today. My name is Cardale Jones, and I was a care source kid.
CareSource, your Medicaid, your choice. Visit caresource.com/Medicaid.
Hey there, Buckeye fans. Coach Day here. When you're getting ready for game day, make sure you start with the Kroger app. The app gives you easy access to weekly sales and personalized coupons, and you can earn fuel points too. And best of all, when you shop with the app, you'll enjoy the same low prices you'd find in-store. So check out the app and save while you're cheering us on to another great season. Kroger, fresh for everyone, and go Buckeyes.
Buckeye football lives here. The Fan. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. Fans, be sure to check out the Buckeye Game Day concert series presented by the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer before every home game this season outside of St. John Arena in Buckeye Fan Fest. Each week features a different artist on stage 2 hours before kickoff. Get on board and book your cruise today. Visit BuckeyeCruise.com. Go Buckeyes and beat cancer.
This is the Elk and Elk Report on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
And Jim, some good news on one side as far as one line, some bad news on the other side as far as the line this past week.
Yeah, you got Donovan Jackson back on that offensive line. I thought you could, that definitely made a difference. And it was good to see that they continue to keep Austin Saravelt in the fold. Him and Tegra Shabola rotated in and out, a couple different series. So that was good to see, keeping all 6 of those guys fresh and ready to go and warm. And then, without Tyleik Williams out there, he's a good football player. We've seen that. He's got over 100 career tackles, which doesn't happen very often for a defensive tackle, but he's been able to step up and make plays his whole career. And, in his, absence, you saw Hero Canoe get some playing time, and obviously Caden McDonald and Taiwan Munlone all stepped up and made some plays in there. So, it was good to get those guys some reps, some depth. But we need to get Tyleik healthy for the Big Ten season.
Our 2 Deep report was presented by Elk and Elk, injury lawyers dedicated to every client every day. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtables from the Sidelines Report on the Ohio State Sports Network.
All right, let's put the finishing touches on Ohio State's 49-14 win over Marshall. 569 yards, 7 touchdowns for the Buckeye offense. Afterwards, Clay Hall with a couple of top performers.
with Captain Emeka Ibuka, 5 targets, 5 catches, 117, and a touchdown. It felt like that answer to their touchdown was pretty important early on.
Absolutely. You know, this is our first noon kickoff of the year, and we were just really stressing coming out fast. Unfortunately, they were able to score on our defense early, so kind of the message of offense was we got to get it back. We know our defense is going to rally late, but we can't go down like this. So it was really important to get on that field and go get 7 for our defense.
Tremendous balance on both sides there, running, passing the football. Does that make you tougher to defend down the road?
Absolutely. I don't think we've met a team this year that has really been ready for both attacks. You know, we have the best running back duo in the nation, probably in college football history, in my opinion. Just working with Trey and Quinshon every day is something that's super special. But then obviously we have, you know, the dudes that we have on the outside, so it's definitely hard to stop.
You like the way Will's feeding you guys? Everybody's getting fed?
Will's doing a phenomenal job, and you know, we're glad he was able to come here. He's been a perfect fit for Ohio State and everything that we're trying to accomplish this season.
Now, next week it won't be 105,000 for you. You will have some against. Are you prepared for the Big Ten?
Absolutely. We love to go to away games and kind of, you know, bring that kind of mentality to whatever stadium we're at. So, you know, away games on the road, especially in the Big Ten, are different. So we're going to have a learning experience going into next week, but we're going to just try to keep the stride that we're in.
With running back Quinshon Judkins, I kind of marveled at the way you were breaking tackles there.
What's up? I'm super thankful, man, to be honest. You know, as a team, we had a pretty good performance. We're going to enjoy the win today and see what we can get better at and come in and improve for the next week.
No question about that. 86-yarder, what'd you see there? You were gone, shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, man. You know, during practice, you know, I go through my progressions, go through my reads, and Coach Locke helps us and our whole room do a pretty good job at that. And I just went through my progressions and seeing the linebacker over-pursue out of his gap. So I took the hole, and that was 86 yards. Baby.
Travion, both of you guys, incredible tandem, and the ability to break tackles and to see daylight and to make it work. How have you changed since your days in the SEC?
Man, I think just like in the offseason, just working on everything in my overall game and improving in different areas and just being helping myself be more of a complete player. And I think that worked this offseason, and just I want to give a thanks to my team and Coach Mick for preparing me in the offseason, getting me faster and stronger, and also my teammates for preparing me on practice, just getting me better, because I'm going against the best defense in the country every day. So it's like, man, I'm really thankful for them for sure.
Are you getting led properly by Will Howard at quarterback?
Most definitely. I think Will's a great guy off the field as well. He has great leadership. He has all the tools and all the skills that you need at the quarterback position. He's super talented. He can run. He can throw. He can do everything. So I'm super happy to have him on our squad.
Again, very balanced was Ohio State offensively on Saturday. You know, Judkins had the big game out there on the ground, and we had a chance to visit with Emeka during the coaches show last week. We know how impressive he is on the field. I mean, he showed what an impressive young man he showed us on Thursday.
No question. And really early on when he got here, you could see his skill level. And last year, you know, he had to fight injuries so much. He missed 3 games last year. Mm-hmm. And remember, you know, all that stuff that was going on in the Rose Bowl against Utah with Marvin Harrison and Jackson Smith and Jigba. Remember, Emeka had a big game with returns and really had a big impact on that game.
Yeah, he's a graduate. You know, he graduated with a degree in marketing, and we had Will Howard the week before. Both those guys are very impressive. You know, getting a chance to talk to them, you know, for the final segment of the coaches show has been a lot of fun the last couple of weeks.
And Coach Cooper, you've been talking about Judkins all season long, how much you really, really like the way he runs when he has that football in his hands.
Like I mentioned earlier, he's faster than I thought he would be. I mean, this guy's big, strong, he's going to run over people. I would not want to try to tackle him in the open field.
He's got over 3,000 career rushing yards now, and you look at Travion Henderson, he's on the cusp of getting over 3,000. There's not many two back guys playing for the same team that have that many yards, so that's been pretty impressive for Ohio State.
Again, it's Ohio State and Michigan State coming up on Saturday. Up next, our Buckeye Roundtable Insiders Report. Patrick Murphy from Bucknuts 24/7 Sports will hop on as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Hey, Buckeye fans, Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,500 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
We have acres of brand new Chevys, Chryslers, Jeeps, Dodges, and Ram vehicles, as well as used cars and trucks that you're looking for at the Jeff Weiler Columbus Auto Mall in Canal Winchester. And if we don't have what you're looking for, we can find it at one of our 23 other locations. So come shop the lot or view over 2,000 cars right at your fingertips at JeffWeilerColumbusAutomall.com. Plus, use Weiler Direct to see monthly payments, value your trade, and get pre-approved. Rooted in family, driven by you.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back to Table, presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper, and with us tonight, I'm Skip Mosic. Buckeye Roundtable is brought to you in part by Encova Insurance, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye Roundtable Insiders.
Joined for a few minutes now by Patrick Murphy, Bucknuts 24/7 Sports. And Pat, every year when conference play begins, we kind of ask if Ohio State has shown that they're good enough in certain areas. From your chair, as Big Ten play begins, is there any area of concern for this football team that might be there that we're not seeing? I guess from your chair.
Yeah, it's tough to say, right? Just given the opponents that Ohio State played in the non-conference. And, I think if there weren't anything but 3 straight wins and 3 pretty dominant wins, you'd be concerned. I'd say if anything, the defensive line and the rush, and I know that was brought up today at Ohio State's press conference with Ryan Day, and he pushed back a little bit saying, teams have gotten the ball out quickly. You can't focus on that if teams are going to do that. You have to stop the run and whatnot. And I agree. I think there is something to that. It will be interesting to see once they get into conference play, because we talked about it a bit last year when the Buckeyes weren't great getting to the quarterback with their defensive line. So I guess that would be something that I would point to. But, it is hard with the way they've played these first 3 games, because it has been pretty dominant performances on both sides of the ball.
Hey, Murph Dog, when you think about what Ryan Day says during all of these media interviews and all of that, if you read between the lines, do you get the feeling that he's just trying to keep his team hungry and humble?
Yes. I've actually said this to a few people. This is the most serious I've seen Ryan Day at press conferences since he's been at Ohio State. And even leading into the season and during fall camp, the off season, we talked to him, I didn't get that sense. And I think that is to send a message that, okay, it's time, the season's here, and it's time to buckle down and let's get our jobs done. There were a few times in the last couple press conferences where jokes got cracked or whatever, and he doesn't even smile. And it's a little uncharacteristic, but I think he's trying to send a message to his team and Buckeye Nation in general that he's here to do the job of, getting this team back to where it wants to be, top of the Big Ten, and, potentially winning a national championship. And, if he has to change his demeanor in front of the cameras and, if he thinks that's the right approach, I'm here for it, because I think he recognizes that maybe he had to change something himself, and this is a way to do it.
With Chip Kelly here, Ryan didn't have to worry about calling plays, so he has a little bit more time during the games to go after those officials, and he certainly has spent a little bit more time going after those officials in those first 3 games. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I did love to see it last week when he really went after the officials after that, Marshall taking its time getting the guys off the field. This is what the fired up Ryan Day that I think people have talked about that you get every once in a while. I think the biggest example was the Georgia game a couple of years ago. I think he recognizes again that, that's in there. And now that he doesn't have to worry about, like he's talked about, staring at the play sheet and talking to the offensive players when the defense is on the field and all that, he can, focus on some of these things. And you hope it doesn't result in a penalty like it did last week. But I think this is what you want to do. You want to fight for your team, right? And he's done that, and that's not the only example either. I think there's been a couple others where he's kind of let the officials know what he thinks, and I'm okay with that.
The big change for coach this year is now he's the head coach. He's coaching all the positions. Before he was a quarterback coach. He's a head coach coaching the quarterback. So Chip Kelly, I think, has really made Coach Ryan's job a lot easier. I think they're doing a good job communicating from the press box to the sideline, calling plays, attacking people. To me, the easiest thing for either one of them to do is call plays. I mean, if they're playing man coverage, you'll throw the ball.
Right.
If they're playing zone, you're probably going to run the ball. But there's no way. I would not want to. I don't think I've seen a cornerback that could cover either one of our 3 wide receivers man to man.
Yeah, it's a good spot to be in, right, with all this talent. And I think this is about as perfect of a marriage as you could get, getting Ryan Day and Chip Kelly back together and these roles, and especially where Chip Kelly is at this point in his career and just wanting to, coach offense and coach quarterbacks and not have to worry about that other stuff. They're both kind of in a position that they want to be right now, I think. Ryan Day's done the offense, and he's done, kind of managing the quarterbacks and whatnot. So push that off on somebody that he trusts, with everything, and, let them go to work there. And, yeah, he can be that CEO type. And then, obviously you mentioned it, you bring in all that talent. It looks really good so far, and we'll see if it keeps up. I think it will.
Patrick, you intrigued, like all of us, to wait and see whenever we might see that wow moment from Will Howard?
Yeah, certainly am. And I think we started to see some of it. Some of the throws he's made have impressed, I think. But this is what you expected if you watched him from Kansas State. I do think that there are some other things he can do, especially in some of the run game stuff. He talked today, obviously, about the deep ball that he's worked on, and we haven't really seen that yet. But they brought this kid here for a reason, and it wasn't just to be a game manager. There were a lot of guys that could have done that. Some on the roster probably. There's an expectation that Will Howard at points this season will have to go win a play, win a drive, maybe even win a game late, and they have full confidence that he will be able to do that.
I mean, his defense has given up 20 points in 3 ball games right now, so there's not a lot to harp on. But knowing that they're going to go against Aiden Childs, and he's got the ability to run, and quarterback run, as we saw against Marshall, kind of hurt this defense a little bit. What's his defense have to do to contain Aiden Childs?
Well, I think one thing that will be different is they'll be ready for it. I think Marshall had called only 3 or 4, I can't remember exactly, something around there, quarterback runs. Now, there have been some scrambles and whatnot, and they had, I think, 7 called quarterback runs this past week. So clearly they did something a little different. I don't expect Michigan State to change up much, and Ohio State knows that Childs can do some of that. So I think prepping for it and being ready is one thing. And then it's just discipline, right? We talked about this with quarterbacks in the past, staying in your lanes, whether you want to put a spy on him or not, just, not over pursuing and whatnot. It obviously changes things a little bit when you're rushing the passer and whatnot, but I think they will be ready for it. And I think we've seen Jim Knowles prepare for these guys before, and they've been able to handle it at a pretty good level.
Patrick, things have kind of played out the way everybody kind of assumed they would the first month of September or so. Has anybody surprised you? Any team surprised you from the Big Ten, either one way or another?
Well, I was a little surprised with Oregon the first couple of weeks just because it was wasn't getting off the ground the way I think most people expected, but they seem to have figured it out. Michigan, after that loss, obviously to Texas early, to bounce back the way they did, I think is a credit to what they're doing up in Ann Arbor. I think for the most part, everybody's kind of played out the way I expected. I will say Michigan State, new head coach with Jonathan Smith. I didn't know how quickly they would be able to get things off the ground there. I do think he's a really good coach, but to go to Maryland and get a win and then go to Boston College and nearly get a win, I think that program is moving in the right direction. I still don't think they're going to be back to challenging Ohio State, at least not this season, for a Big Ten title like they were a few years back, but it seems to be moving in a positive direction. So just off the top of my head, I would say those three, but I'm sure I'm missing somebody in there.
Patrick Murphy, Bucknuts 24/7 Sports. Pat, we always appreciate your time. Thanks for hopping on tonight, okay?
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Again, it's Ohio State and Michigan State coming up on Saturday. We will wrap things up with some chalk talk as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Hey, Buckeye fans, Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,500 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hey Columbus, looking for the perfect day trip? Head to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Dive into football history, see legendary players, and enjoy interactive exhibits. Fun for the whole family. Visit ProFootballHOF.com for tickets. The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, where it's always football season.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag Buckeyes Care.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. We are proudly presented by Burger King. Visit your local BK restaurant to grab your $20 Buckeye Blitz bundle that includes 2 Whoppers, a cheeseburger, 3 small fries, 3 small drinks, and a custom OSU crown. Only at Burger King, where you rule.
Buckeye Roundtable, Chalk Talk.
Otherwise known as lunch.
Where's the appetizer?
Let's begin this week, fellas. Our delivery of the game. The biggest delivery Saturday night at Michigan State will need to come from who?
I think it's going to be the defensive line. Try to pressure Aiden Giles. The guy's thrown for almost 900 yards, but has thrown 7 interceptions. So if the defensive line can cause enough pressure to force some turnovers, that could be the group to really deliver.
I'm going to go to the whole front 7. Throw the linebackers in there too because of the quarterback run, and you want to make sure that Cody and Sonny and Arvell Reese and C.J. Hicks, all those guys are glued into the quarterback run and make sure that he can't step out and make some big plays against us, because that's again, they can hurt you in a hurry. It's an extra man, so to speak, that you don't always account for in the running game, and he's had the ability to do that. But having Tyleik Williams, hopefully he's back inside there, and if not, then we need to see Cade McDonald step up, and Hero Canoe and Malone all go out there and have their best games.
Coach Cooper?
I'm going to go number 33 and number 44, Jack Sawyer and Tuimoloau. Those 2 guys got to get after it this week.
Michigan State lost their first game last week to Boston College. The conditions weren't great, but were we able to tell how good MSU might be, Paul?
I think so, especially, seeing, even though he threw 3 interceptions, you see the big arm that Childs has. And also Montorie Foster, who seems like he's been there for a long time. He makes some tough plays. Their tight end, Jack Velling, makes some big catches, but they've got athletic guys on the defensive line. Bogle, the one defensive end. Halliday, who seems like he's been there forever. So they've got guys that, some familiar names there that have been around for a while on defense. So it's a team that certainly, Michigan State's always kind of played with a little edge. Sometimes they've gone over the edge with how they've played. Translation, cheap shots. But you can see how athletic they are.
And I think they got a pretty good cornerbacks, too, with Brantley, Charles Brantley. He's been around zero. You'll see him out there. And then they brought in Ed Woods, number 4 from Arizona State, and he seems like he's a capable cornerback. So, obviously, when you're going against Ohio State's passing attack and the wide receivers that they can put out there in the field, you got to be sharp with your corners. And, when I look at a weakness, I think, and it's probably because of injuries, it's their offensive line for Michigan State. There are a couple guys that gotten banged up. They moved one of their tackles into guard. Backup tackle, so they got to, I think if we're going to have Jack and JT step up and make some plays, they're going to have to do it against those guys.
Coach Cooper, when Ohio State and Michigan State meet up, typically it's a smash mouth physical football game. Do you expect the same or maybe a different style under Jonathan Smith up there in East Lansing?
No, I don't know that much about what they're going to do offensively, but we got better. There's a reason we're 24-point favorite. We got better players and better coaches than they got. The team that's got the best players, guys, usually wins the game. If we go up there and play like we're capable of playing, and I think we will, I think it'll be a no contest.
I think our special teams really have to step up in this game, whether it's our punters and, not great. We need to get that up. Obviously, the kickoffs was a concern. You want to make sure that if you are kicking field goals that you put them between the uprights. You don't want to leave any points
That's the only place where they're better than us. Those are where they're punters,
Exactly.
punter and kicker, right?
Yeah, punter's averaging 50, and their kicker kicked one from 51.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Ohio State has had some success in East Lansing of late, but there have been some games that get the Spartans to forget. Let's start with the big upset in '74. Then there was '98, Coach Cooper, and then 13 and 15, and that '98 one really cost you national championship, Coach Cooper.
Exactly.
I mean, can you imagine if you had the playoff like you had today back in '98, or even any time back in the '90s?
We would have played for it at least when we.
Even if it was just 4 teams, you would have played for it.
2013, Big Ten championship game.
Mm-hmm.
That was a tough one. Carlos Hyde handed it off to him, go left. Instead, we ran Braxton, and we didn't quite pick up the first down. And then, obviously, 2015, after we won the national championship, they ended up losing that one in a low-scoring game. Zeke Elliott, I think,
was a forgotten man.
Exactly. Didn't get him the ball enough.
Wanted to focus on somebody else that night. Somebody did. For fans making the trek to East Lansing, not a bad drive. 2 years ago, there was still a lot of things that were shut down because of the pandemic. Curious to see if some of those places have reopened and recovered a little bit since then.
Yeah, tell everybody to go to Harrison's Roadhouse. They got some really good wings there.
Really, really good wings. And, speaking of the fans, real quick, kudos to the fans for this past Saturday.
Yeah.
It was brutally hot out there in the sun on Saturday.
Yeah, I know there were a bunch of people that bailed, and understandably so.
So kudos to everybody who stuck it out, because it was dangerously hot. Kudos to the band wearing the heavy black uniforms.
Absolutely.
Real quick, Buckeyes in the NFL, Jim.
Well, fresh in my mind is Terry McLaurin. I know Paul didn't want to hear it. 4 catches for 100 yards.
Great play by Terry.
55-yarder for a TD with just under 3 minutes to go was a big play. And then guy that, we kind of forgot about, Javonte Jean-Baptiste, who started here. He ended up going over to Washington and got a sack against Joe Burrow, so that was a big play for him. Justin Fields, how about him? Just finds a way to continue to win, beat Jim Harbaugh and the L.A. Chargers. One of my old teams that I played for. They're both undefeated, and he was able to step up and make some nice plays out there. Joey Bosa got nicked up in that game, went out there with a hip injury, so you want to see him get healthy and hopefully get back out there. Jalen Holmes, he signed to the active roster with the Jets, so it's good to see him back out there. And, Denzel Ward,
a guy that's not getting enough attention is Hubbard.
Yeah.
Down at the singles at the Bengals. He's been captain for about 4 years in a row.
No. Coach Cooper, thanks for coming down and talking football with us tonight. Always love having you down here. Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. For our producer tonight, Bodie Wells, and for Cole Bartimas, and for Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, and Coach John Cooper, I'm Skip Mosic. As always, thanks for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Tailgating this weekend? Schmitz Catering has you covered. Schmitz will cater your neighborhood party or company tailgate and handle all the heavy lifting. They can even grill for you at your location. Schmitz is the perfect way to celebrate this football season with their delicious Bahama Mamas, sausages, cream puffs, and more. Let Schmitz bring their Hoss to yours. Check out their full catering menu at schmidthoss.com. Why tailgate when you can Schmidtgate?
Rita, Jorge, let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
30% of D1 athletes report betting-related threats and harassment after games. This threatens the safety and mental health of students like Jade.
I'm a college athlete, and I'm more than a bet. When you threaten my life and my family because you lost money, it really scares me.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than in a roomy new Toyota, like the best-selling RAV4. Now through September 30th, get 4.99 APR financing on a new gas-powered 2024 RAV4. Or lease a RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
You want Jersey Mike's signature sub, you get a number 13 original Italian. You want a dramatic radio idea? You get me. Like this. I'm the 7th-string quarterback and the other 6 quarterbacks go down. The coach yells, DeVito, you're in. The crowd is worried until I throw a touchdown. But the other team is celebrating. Apparently, I threw the Jersey Mike's number 13 original Italian I was eating on the sidelines. Whoops. The number 13 original Italian, Jersey Mike's.